there, good morning. Today's Monday, usually it's our gentler class. I am going to do a slower practice. The first reading that came up today is actually interesting. It came up on the first day of spring. Trust the universe. What does it mean to trust the universe? We don't know all that's going to happen in life, but we know we're part of a complex system of interconnectivity. Whatever may happen, we are deeply woven into that fabric of the entire universe. So when you feel alone, or you feel alienated, or when you feel lesser or separate, remember this. There is nowhere else you need to be, and nobody else you need to be. You are never alone, because we are interconnected, even if we don't see each other and talk. You are fine as you are, and you're right here cradled in the arms of this universe, just like the rest of us. So I just take a few breaths, maybe close your eyes. When I work at Trails before every meeting, we take 10 seconds of silence, and that's where you would insert, if you were of a certain religion, you would insert a prayer, you would insert just silence. You might stare at an object or close your eyes, just that 10 seconds of grounding. And it's something that's almost like a mini version of a meditation. It's a pause. Over the next few days and weeks, we'll probably have to practice this pause often. So we'll set up. You might be sitting down like I am in sweet seat, or you might be lying down. I'm going to close my eyes to shut out some more stimuli. And take a big breath in through the nose, and a let it go breath through the mouth. Once more, big breath in, and a let it go breath through the mouth. And one more time, deep inhale, and pause. Just hold that pause. I'm just going to turn my music down. Sorry, relying on cheap help is very hard at this time. It's been interesting trying to balance a good combination of fun, acting like everything's fine, a sense of adventure, as well as a little bit of routine, and trying to see the positives so that this whole experience in my family isn't left as a one of fear. There's been a couple really good memes shared lately about how we react as adults to this whole situation kind of cements the perception of this experience to the young people in our lives. I know there's certain people in your life who, if you were to ask them about what was their experience in World War II like, it was so horrific they cannot and will not talk about it. And as a result, we have this gap in our story collective that happens between generations. So I'm trying to make this an aware situation, but not doomsday. And there have also been a lot of memes going around explaining how we have food in our cupboard, we have a place to sleep, we still have all our running water and our electricity, and all we're being asked to do is step back, just stay away, stop being part of the collective. And for some reason that's very hard. If you live alone, I do encourage you to please call me. I'm definitely up for a chat. This is driving me insane, being socially disconnected. And also we have the whole group collective. So today I did a Zoom chat with about 6 other women. Our children are about the same age, and it was really nice just to sit and talk in our pajamas, have a cup of coffee, and all of us see our faces online, and have a chance to just do our group chat. And I know a bunch of you are also part of a group where you're used to socializing, especially over coffee, and this may be challenging. So please connect with me, and there's quite a few different ways that you can still do that with your friends. It doesn't require a lot of technology. There is an app called Zoom, and that's what people all over the world have been using to work remotely, to do phone calls remotely, and my husband uses it to teach his classes all over the world for karate right now. The free version is up to 45 minutes per session, and I just have an app on my phone, but it only takes up to 3 people, I believe, at a time. If you pay $20 for the month subscription, you can have like up to 1,000 people or 100 people, and as long as you want. You can also record your experience. So for the people who are used to working together as a group, you might want to think of doing that and having your coffees together. The other thing I did want to mention is in this time, it's so easy to come deeper and deeper into our own lives and our own cave until we hit a point where we really need that connection. I do encourage you, if you're not already on social media, specifically Facebook or Instagram, to join it. The Yoga Nest has a page on Facebook, and I have my own personal page. And that's where we've had the opportunity to set that whole sense of community up. We've been able to share positive articles, get more news without having to watch a depressing newscast, and to have lots of different perspectives. The biggest one though has been sharing positive things that are happening, and as we advance forward, it's nice to be a part of a global community. So I do encourage you to set up a profile. It's also been really good for people whose children and grandchildren are all online and they are not, so you don't feel separated. You don't have to put much on about yourself, but it's a great way to still be part of the community that isn't a lot of effort, whether it's on your phone or your computer. So let's do a couple little stretches. I'll put my other leg in front to switch it out. And you could choose to be sitting flat on the floor or on your couch or on a pillow. I'm gonna bring my arms up to the sky, reach up. And just lengthen, feel that lengthening. I have to consciously engage my core. And as I engage my core and engage my hands, I feel all the interconnectivity. The muscles in my hands, my fingers, my arms, my ribs, my belly, all the way into my hips, down my thighs, into my knees, and to my ankles, all working together. And then release your arms. So I saw a practice put on by Kundalini Yoga, which is a more intense form of yoga that uses a lot more spirituality than the than the traditional Hatha yoga we practice. And they were showing this particular, I'm going to call it an exercise to help with lung health. And it was really to get the blood flow in our lungs. And when I first watched it, it seemed almost too good to be true, too simple. But I got thinking, it's the action of lifting your arms above your head. We talk about that often, how that's missing in our everyday lives. We don't reach for trees, we don't pick food off the trees. So this particular practice is supposed to help lung function before you need it. If you have asthma or you're prone to bronchitis, this might be something to do, and you can do it sitting anywhere. So she said you would bring your arms up, clap, down, forward, clap, down, up, clap, down, forward, clap, down. And I'm going to do that continually, repeat it very fast. You want to remember to breathe in and out through your nose, and it's as fast or slow as you want. So think about it as a moving meditation. Inhale up, down. After a while, I can feel how this would be very tiring. The theory of some of the Kundalini yogas, you're going to do it so fast that you actually are almost in a trance. This is intense on my arms. I'm not feeling it in my lungs, but it's probably good, especially if you have allergies. Up, down, up, down. I'm probably eliminating a step. Now, if I want to do it more mindfully, down, up, down, front, 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 down, up, down, front. Now I'm going to eliminate the middle piece and just do front, up, front, up. I'm going to do this for one more minute. Just because it's actually tiring in my arms. This is supposed to be our Gentle Monday class. So hopefully you've been watching the Trudeau speeches. At first I was avoiding it. I wish there was somewhere I could just get a highlight reel. Today the message is going to be that we need to take the social distancing, and I am going to use the word isolation a little more seriously. So hopefully we all have enough food in our cupboards. There are other ordering things. If any of you get desperate and you need help, please call me. Also going into some of the Asian grocery stores is actually really good right now because there's hardly any people. Saturday morning, I picked up a few things. It was my first time in 8 days going out, and I picked up a few things at Shoppers Drug Mart, and I feel like people isolate a little bit better there. There's way less clients, and they have a lot of the same foods on sale there at the grocery store. So if I need certain things, I've been stocking up there instead of going to a big superstore where I normally would go. Let's do a quickie spinal twist. Just gentle things. Maybe I'll take my legs out. I'm gonna sit up nice and straight in Dandasana or staff. The first time I sit up, I'm not looking for that muscular stretch. I wanna feel the touch point. So in this pose, the back of my heels will be a touch point. The flesh of my calves will be a touch point. Then I feel the back of my hamstrings gentle. I feel my sits bones pressing into the floor. And now I'm going to add my palms pressing into the floor. Sometimes there is a certain comfort in feeling the hardness of the floor against any pose. There's no balance required. There's this hard surface that's always there for us, and rising up from it is our soft bodies. Take a few breaths here. Can you find softness or surrender in this shape? If it's really hurting your hamstrings, relax your legs and soften everything. But you can choose even this to be a challenging pose. Notice the core. As I sit back, straighter spine, maybe you can use a mirror, I really need to be more aware of my core. Engage the core, clench your bum, almost like you're doing Kegels. Clench like you're gonna hold the urine from coming out. All of that muscle, so that's a bandha. In Kundalini Yoga, we have 3 different kinds of bandhas. There's the Kegel kind of area, the core, there's one in the throat lock, and then this crown. Whole other subject another day. But in the meantime, that clenching sensation is grounding this middle part of our body. And then let it soften. Now I'll do a tiny spinal twist here with these soft, relaxed legs. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind me, twist. And I want to feel my shoulders wringing out. And back to center, and I'll do the other side, tiny twist. Try to keep that good balance. This feels really good. And then I'm going to do a tiny diamond afterwards. Just bringing the soles of my feet together, palms on my legs. Even the idea of hinging forward may give you a nice little stretch in your hips, your back. And then come all the way up, roll at your ankles. Let's take one leg folded in, so as high as that foot wants to come into the inner thigh. And I'm going to stand upright in my spine, sits bones are grounded, and tiny hinge forward. And then upright, and then release, right leg out, left leg in. Again, remember, Monday is a gentle class. So I might sit upright, feeling those touch points anchoring down, heel, calf, sits bone, blade of my foot and knee, or I can soften everything and hinge. And maybe each person finds a different stretch in each pose that they know is going to be there and enjoy. And then upright. Let's come onto our back. Take your time bringing bum towards your heels. Lower the bum and the spine all the way down, chin to chest. Head will be the last piece. And even lift your chin a little to the sky. Notice those curves. We had those touch points on our legs when they were extended. Now I feel my tailbone and bum as my touch point here. There's a tiny curve under my back. Back of my rib cage behind my heart is the next touch point. Then the base of my skull is the next touch point. Arms away from the body, palms turned up. My knuckles become my next touch point, and the soles of my feet. Let's take 3 breaths here. And I want you to notice, does your body want to easily relax, or is there resistance? In this pose, I'm noticing my tailbone pushing down and the place behind my heart pushing down, but there's some resistance in my lower back. As my fingers fall open, the bones in the back of my hands heavy and relaxed. Think about your arms, the bones and the flesh, heavy and relaxed. And without widening your legs, let's do a tiny windshield wiper here, gently side to side. While you're doing this tiny motion, notice any areas of hesitation in your body. And then coming back to center. So instead of side to side, keeping those same hips together, you can even take your hands to your hips or your belly. I'm going to press right knee forward and come back to neutral. Press left knee forward and come back to neutral. Press right knee forward by pressing my sole into the floor and relax to neutral. This is to reset the SI joint. Left knee forward, back to neutral. One more time, right knee forward and back to neutral. Left knee forward and back to neutral. Now I want to heel toe my feet as wide as the mat. Let's take our arms wide again, palms turned up, nails relax under the floor. Let the knees flop to the right. And back to center. Let the knees flop to the left. Notice the hesitation just as much as the ease, that contrast, resist and embrace. So we have resist and surrender, these two contrasting feelings in every single pose. Continue this exploring windshield wiper. Look for the contrast, look for the resistance, and look for the surrender in each pose. Maybe eventually the curiosity is really the moving meditation, the looking for the different feelings in your body. Especially when we've taken Saturday and Sunday to not do a practice usually. Giving yourself rest, mental, physical, and then coming back to your practice on Monday. How does your body receive that coming back into a practice? The next time the knees are to the right, I may experiment walking my knees wider. I'm just going to let gravity decide how deeply this stretches in my left hip and thigh. I might stretch my arms behind me. Lengthen. Might get a free belly show here. And then back to center. Last time, knees flop to the left. Set it up and wait for your body to receive this and gravity gently deepening you into a twist. And back up. And then one last piece, keeping your legs wide, feet as wide as the mat. Let the thighs attempt to come together in the center and possibly the knees. I'm feeling a really deep tugging on my left side, but maybe my my right side, but maybe my right-handed friends are feeling on their left. Notice that contrast. What side of your hip does this feel effortless, and what side is it creating tension or resistance? And for me, it's my non-dominant side. This is an internal rotation of the hip, open out wide, soles together of your feet, knees fall out to the side, recline cobbler or bound angle, and this is an external rotation of the hip. And in female hips, not to genderize or generalize, this is quite a bit easier, the opening of the hips. Which of these versions could you suspend yourself in and surrender for like 5 or 6 minutes? And then hugging your knees together, thighs to chest, little boat, rocking side to side. Let's take our knees to the floor on the left, double leg spinal twist. Right shoulder heavy and relaxed. Extend that palm up. Notice the ease and the tension, this contrast in this pose. By keeping our eye on the ball of the ease and the contrast of the resistance, you are completely mindful. When it's too easy and you're submerged in the ease of a pose, your body goes into default like a robot and moves into this other pose. We've lost the whole point of the mindfulness. Help yourself come back to center. Knees to the right. Oh yeah. Left shoulder heavy and relaxed. Double leg spinal twist. Back to center, little boat, side to side, or circles. I love the circles, it's a little massage for my back. And then help your hands come to the knees and let them go as wide as it feels good. Just hold the knees, ankles dangle. Use the hardness of the floor to support you. Option to come into setup for happy baby. It's Monday, I'm probably pretty tight. I may stay here or I may attempt to grab my feet. Super tight today, so I'm gonna dial it back a little. Maybe I'll just hold my ankles. And then soles of the feet together, hold your ankles, pause here. Then releasing your feet to the mat, soles together, knees out to the side. Checking in with your hip flexors here, where the hip and the thigh connect. Noticing, did your body surrender in this pose, or is the resistance stored in your hips? Option to let your arms fall out wide. And close your legs, little boat once more. 4 circles. We'll take our knees to the floor on the left this time. Curl up in a little ball. Enjoy your side child's pose. And then slowly press yourself up. And just to give you one actual pose today, because I'm feeling like it's definitely a Monday, let's do swan or pigeon, whatever you prefer. So I'll do it first head on. I'm in tabletop. The swan variation is right knee forward, left leg back. Make sure I don't kick any candles. And I might stay here. I might come down on my forearms, or I might come into my forehead. Take 2 breaths here. And then help yourself come up, back to tabletop. Now I'll show the other leg swan from the other side. Tabletop, left knee forward, right leg back. Squaring off those hips. You might come to your forearms into Sphinx or stack fists. And then back upright, back to tabletop, and now we'll switch it into pigeon. You also can come back to swan. Right knee forward and turn, left leg back. I might stay upright, or Sphinx, or fists. Back upright, come into tabletop, and let's do the other side. It's a very gentle pigeon. Left knee forward, pivot that ankle, right leg back, choosing to stay up, swan, or Sphinx, or fists. 2 more breaths. And if one side is more annoying than the other, use that as your meditation, zeroing in on the discomfort. Snaps our brain to attention to this moment. Upright and back into your seated. I'm going to do one last little piece. We're going to do a card today, these crazy love notes to you. Hopefully I'm not repeating something that I have already seen. I'm going to close my eyes. Trust your intuition. This is interesting, especially as we navigate this world, this new world for the next little while. We have this temporary new world. Trusting your intuition, which some of it, they say the third eye is also, your second brain is in your stomach. So third eye, intuition, and second stomach, second brain, all connected. It is your heart and brain processing physical sensations. So some of it is instinctive. There's a belief that women actually have a stronger sense of intuition for some reason. Maybe it's so we don't get hurt in the wild. And then it could also be a building blocks of all the experiences, good and bad, you've ever had, that create this safety net that your brain kicks into. So if you have been in a dark alley at one point, your safety net is to listen to your intuition as you approach a dark alley. If you've never had a scary experience in a dark alley and never watched a show with that, you might not have that in your intuition toolbox. So trust your intuition. The picture is a beautiful butterfly tree artwork. A lot of these cards I should just do for artwork. It's time to stop seeking advice from others and go inside instead. You know what's best for your body, mind, and spirit. Sit in a meditation, walk in the woods, ask yourself what you need, and listen. Tune into your inner guidance. When you get a gut reaction, honor it. You have the answer, and it's safe to trust yourself, especially if we've had a life of wisdom, layers and layers of wisdom from our experiences and our readings. Everything you need is already inside of you. And that's something that has been said to me in the yoga world from the very beginning. You already have everything that you need. The key is trusting it, using it, not disregarding it. And that also could be said about all our material goods. Everything we already need is probably already in our house or our cupboards. So with that, I do encourage you to set your timer for 5 minutes and do a brief breathing or shavasana after I sign off. I hope you have a beautiful day. I do want to hear feedback from you if there's any kind of body things that you want to work on. Next class tomorrow will definitely be a little bit more challenging. I've had some requests for some more shoulder work and upper chest opening. The good in me sees the good in you. I do miss you guys. Namaste. And now I'm going to walk towards you to turn this off.